When we had last left the Arisen, their adventures in Gransys and Bitter Black Isle nearby were coming to a sharp close. Indeed, adventures beckoned from elsewhere, in other lands, in other times, and that call would need to be answered. And so they plotted to perhaps conclude everything by way of using 20 gathered wakestones from within the Everfall and finding out what few challenges lie ahead. This is Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Welcome back, and welcome to what I can only assume will be the final video. However things turn out, we shall accept it. All right, whatever happens, happens. We'll see what does happen. Now, we've also still got our same slew of pawns. I figure, you know what? Why not keep them with us? I did a little bit of inventory management. Got our equipment managed a little bit. And you know what? Let's do it.
I did not think it
There we go. Consider revamping your party. Right. Okay. Oh shit, I think I already just went by it. Okay. That's fine. We'll just we'll wait for it to loop a bit. Right? Here we are. I think it was right here. Does it loop in that way? Is this it? Ooh, I think so. Good. Hey,
Hello.
Check it out. I got the 20 stones.
Yes, at last. At last you've gathered the whole of them. With them, you can summon forth a rift of considerable power. This rift, born of the wakestones' power, will guide you forward, Arisen. I fear there will be no returning to this place. Are you prepared to journey on?
This character, Quince or Quince, wasn't she part of the party from the very start of the game, right? We don't know who's Arisen, who's like home Arisen this person belongs to, right? This pawn. Huh. That is a bit of an odd question. That is something peculiar, but perhaps ultimately irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, right? Does it really matter? Because we're just at another stage, another step of a cycle unending without completely revealing everything. Right, but damn near it. I mean, shit, it's only a matter of time now. Okay, for those who are unfamiliar with Dragon's Dogma and have stayed on board this long. Okay, yep. Let's do our final journey.
Arisen. May the world be put right by your hand.
Ooh. Okay. Sure, yeah, I don't really remember this. Is that actually 20 of them? Oh. A familiar sight, perhaps. Gordon, what do you have to say about that?
We'll find the truth below. We must jump.
Okay. What about you?
End this, Arisen. May the world be put right by your hand.
Okay, here goes nothing. Ooh. Very familiar sort of vibe, right? Looks a whole lot kind of like the Riftstone summoning situation. The Seneschal's Chamber. Very From Software feeling final boss area or whatever, or hidden boss area. Okay.
Well met, Arisen. I'll not waste time on rhetoric. Defeat me, and take my place as keeper of this world. You saw it awaiting you at the end of your descent. Aye, the same world you've traveled to arrive at this place. A world you may well now inherit. It is a simple proposition, no different than any you've faced. You need only the will to claim what is offered you. The will to survive.
Oh dear.
Yes, fight, Arisen, as you e'er have fought in coming here. What is it that impels you? What force spurs you on? What sustained your wanderings and led you here? I ask you, what is it that makes you alive? 'Tis volition, unbending will. You are here because you willed it, Arisen. That alone has brought you here.
Uh-oh. I don't actually remember how this plays out.
Consider the infinite potential.
Ugh. Is that infinite potential that come? What is that? Oh my gosh.
Just as you call forth pawns, so I command all life into existence. Call it
It's
divine
us, but
creation
naked.
first, but expect none of the mercy men seek in their gods. This is cold truth, the unbending reality of a world without compassion. The world and all its denizens are but empty vessels. In that regard, no different than the pawns. Without volition, there is no true life. The world falls stagnant, dead as an ocean with no current to guide it. That volition is tempered by the struggle for survival. The decision, just like yours, to fight. Just as the pawns need a master's command, so the world thirsts for the will to live.
Let us continue, Arisen. Show that you are more than an empty vessel, animated by forces unseen. Show that the temper of your soul is strong enough to command far more than mere pawns.
Oh shit.
Show that your will is fit to bind the fraying circle of this world and hold it fast. Fight tooth and claw. Struggle now and cling to life. Show that living holds worth enough to fight for.
Uh-oh. I don't remember what I'm meant to do here. Oh my god. It was me? The whole time?
It is time to decide. Will you claim your right as Arisen? Or shrug the burden and seek peace in oblivion? Just so. One foot after the next, come what may. That is what it means to live. Turn back.
Ugh, what a creepy smile.
A merciful death. The choice is yours, Arisen. Yours alone.
Tis a simple choice, Arisen. Step forward or retreat. Accept the quiet emptiness of a false peace, a false life.
Why not put an end to it? Praises of the quiet life are sung far too infrequent.
Whoa. Come on, man. Jeez. Am I to jump attack you all? Salamet. This old bastard.
You're not without a home to return to. Why? What is it drives you so?
Yeah, it gets a whole lot into philosophy around, like, life itself, doesn't it?
My! 'Tis too great an honor for one of my stature.
Why this hesitation, sir? You've aught to protect, do you not? This is your answer, then?
Oh, even old man McGillicuddy here. And this idiot bastard.
I would beg you rest a while yet, but just as like you would turn a deaf ear. Instead, I ask only that you keep us in mind now and again.
Oh, I almost forgot. I should probably also turn this back online, right? There we are. I don't know if it has any bearing here, though. I can't remember.
I was always so afraid. You seemed ever like to leave for somewhere I could not follow. All I asked was to be at the side of those I loved. All I ever asked.
Dear Lord. Okay. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma gets wildly philosophical about the very nature of what it is to be alive, right? And the nature of, like, free will and what drives people.
So very close to me.
That's right, people new to Dragon's Dogma. Remember in video 1?
I'll meet you on your own terms, joined by my own companions at
The party from the very beginning. It's a super showdown at the ends of the world.
I feel a tremendous power. I'll leave the weak foes to survive.
To be victorious. Temper is an ever-turning wheel, perfect beyond compare. I stand at its center, as you may come to stand in turn.
Now, of course, we're super duper high leveled for this because of Bitter Black Isle. So if they have aught to say, I should like to hear it, but it sounds like no. Let's take out this dude's pawn. Whew, that's a lot of XP. Enough for a free full heal in the midst of all this. Can he res his pawn? No, I don't think so.
Final blow. Let's circle around the back.
Oh, combo super attack!
Arisen, forgive me. All I've done was to test your will. It is the fate of all Arisen. You and I are swept up in the current, same as the rest. Each tempers the volition of the next, and the endless cycle continues. And so, until the coming of a new soul fit to craft the will to live, someone like you. Until that day, may you guide the world ever justly.
Dang, that was in there the whole time? Do I got one in me?
You with the God's Bane blade. Those who arise to oversee this world are undying, save by this brand's kiss. I ask that you, as the world's new seneschal, use it now to vouchsafe freedom to your weary servant.
Rifts are but gateways, linking distant places, slivers of a world far more vast.
New crown sovereign and keeper of eternity. Grant me now this single boon. The fire of my life is spent in guttering. Give me freedom with the kiss of the God's Bane blade. If there is aught you wish to know afore my death, you need but ask.
All right. Well, we should definitely ask some questions, huh?
My knowledge, as my all, is yours to take. What would you hear of me?
All right. But yeah, way back in the day, when I first did this, absolutely blew my mind, because I had completely forgotten about that group at the beginning, right? The pawn there at the start, at the brazier or whatever, that collects all of the wakestones from you, did seem vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place it. It wasn't until I saw, oh shit, this is the guy from the start that I played as. The last Arisen to have gone through all of this, to have met with Grigori, to have gone through the cycle and everything, was that guy who you played as. You just skipped over all of that part, right? And fast forward, all of these other Arisen who we have encountered have come and gone. Many have stayed in some form or another, all underneath, all as this dude, Savan, I think it was, presided over them as this, effectively, like a god, right? Incredibly wild, and also fairly meta commentary in a way, right? Which is, par for the course, right? As we have seen with pawns, by way of how people treat them in the world. It's interesting from a narrative point in that they do make it to where it's like, yeah, we know that the AI of these companion characters, these pawns, there's no way it could be advanced as a player, right? There's probably even no way it could be even quite as advanced as a scripted NPC within the world, right? Because the players spend so much time with them, they will see the flaws of our programming. Therefore, we will canonically make it so that the pawns are like flawed beings in this way, that they lack this free will that has been taken from them, and that the world recognizes them as pawns and a lot of people treat them shitty, So too, and of course, like we said, there's great comparisons between, as an Arisen, what really is the difference between a pawn and a regular human being living in this world? If anything, although the pawns are treated so poorly, the pawns accomplish such great things relative to some regular human beings and stuff around, right? Compared to a regular human being fighter, pawns who are out there fighting stuff, and not necessarily fighters, but any vocation, are out there completing all sorts of wild combat feats, This also extends, this like weird meta commentary can extend, I think, out to the player character, right? As the Arisen. In that, yeah, you kind of, by now, as we have seen, we are like a god walking amongst mere mortals, right? We are the true person in this entire story who has really any degree of agency, right? We're the one who is pushing this forward, and without us, there is no world in which the game occurs, right? Without the player, the world ceases to exist, or exists in a form of stasis, right? For however long. But similarly, the game goes on to commentate, which we'll see here, as we'll ask, that there is also futility in it, right? At best, the game doesn't technically have a finite end, right? There is no finality to it in a technical sense. You put the game down when you grow bored of it, right? Which, in some ways, you're meant to sort of ponder upon that and sort of think the way in which the current Seneschal is operating, right? Spending all of your time here in this place just watching over the world and all of that. Even worse because you're not out adventuring and whatnot, right? You're merely spectating all these other goings on, right? I believe that that's the throughput of it. But in this way also, this goes on to question, like, in the grand scheme of thing, how much in the grand scheme of things within the game or within life, how much agency do we really have? How much really how much influence and impact or whatever does any one person have, even if you are, like, seemingly one of the most important people to ever exist on the face of the planet, right? The Arisen. Or in this case, as we know, the Seneschal. Even the Seneschal is vulnerable and susceptible to the endless cycle, to eternity, to, standing guard over all of this. It is horrifying and sad at the same time if you remain focused on the beginnings and the ends, right? The idea is to not dwell so much on how it all ends, where it all ends, but more so the fun and joy that you had along the way, right? Which, of course, is meant to be very much analogous to reality, I think, right? It's a very sort of, I don't know. I would almost say it's a very secular read of life on Earth and of death. It feels that way to me. I don't know. And what put these forces in place, I don't think we ever actually know, right? What put Grigori in place as a sort of super dragon? Is it always Grigori? It seems like that may be the case. We don't fully know. I wonder as well if any questions like that were answered in Dragon's Dogma Online, or if Dragon's Dogma Online was merely focused on, like, just having a fun multiplayer time with the game mechanics, Hey, we made a cool action role-playing game, let's just focus on that, right? We don't need to get into the wild, mind-bending story beats that happened in, like, the latter quarter of our game, And just as well, if it did answer stuff like that, is Dragon's Dogma Online retconned now? Right? Or is it, like, completely divorced of the core games? Should we only consider the core games? I feel like going forward, perhaps that is the best way to proceed, is to only consider lore from the core games. I don't know. Very, very wild, though. Like I said, super duper wild. Anyway, let's ask some questions, because we may have more to, like, sort of talk about and think about here. What is the Seneschal?
The Seneschal is steward to the world. The world you traveled now rests in your care. Just as the Arisen calls pawn into being and sets them to motion, the Seneschal holds dominion over all living things. There are those who would call such a being Maker or God. I cannot deny the claim any more than affirm it. In the end, they are but words.
Right. Yeah. Like, what does it, in a world such as this, what does it mean to be a god, where such power is attainable, very, obviously to us, the player?
Call it what you will. Such is the office I have served, just as those before me and you beyond unto eternity.
It feels different, yet...
Okay. Let's have some more questions here, I think.
New crown sovereign and keeper of eternity. Grant me now this single boon. The fire of my life is spent in guttering. Give me freedom with the kiss of the Godspain blade. If there is aught you wish to know afore my death, you need but ask. My knowledge, as my all, is yours to take. What would you hear of me?
How is the world composed?
The pawns exist astride the rift. They speak of a multitude of worlds, each infinite unto itself.
Right. Which is absolutely wild in and of itself, right? Gordon has been dropping hints about this all along, and true enough, the peculiar way... I think this is part of the brilliance of this big, like, rug pull that Dragon's Dogma does, is that it sort of plays into how silly and absurd it can seem at first blush, right? Like, I feel like if it treated itself with more gravity, more seriousness all the way through, and I'm not even sure if it's intentional or not, right? Because it does have like kind of a silly way, the way in which everyone speaks and all of this in this Dragon's Dogma way, you know? Which there have been interviews and articles written up sort of about how people in this game speak, and that they were going for something very specific, right? And that is why they very intentionally do speak kind of the same way in Dragon's Dogma 2, right? It is meant to be its own sort of dialect, I believe. I don't know. But nonetheless, that plays into, I feel, sort of their ability to pull the rug out from under you, to like have this weird twist, to have it to where like the last quarter of the game, you're like, wait a minute, the vibe here has completely shifted. This doesn't feel like the same sort of happy-go-lucky, sort of goofy, we're running around fighting goblins, there's a cyclops, right? Throwing people around and stuff. People saying, oh, what art you are, the Arisen, please save thine daughter from harpies, right? Shit like that, you know? And that is still going on. People still are like that, but there is a certain seriousness that immediately comes into the forefront of everything. And I feel like it's shockingly effective. I would say it's intentional, but I guess I don't know for certain, right? Okay.
Limitless in span and lost to time, these worlds extend in an eternal, perfect loop. Just as a ring lacks start and end, so this world has no origin, no final terminus. If it does, they lie beyond our ken.
Right, and I wonder if we will get into that for Dragon's Dogma 2. You know? I wonder how much weird secret stuff will crop up, you know? Like, will they get into sort of the beginnings and ends of all these various infinite eternities occurring simultaneously, and how the pawns are able to travel back and between every single one of these eternities freely? Well, not freely, but by way of being summoned.
We are prisoners of unpassing time, wandering an unending land. What lies beyond, we cannot know.
Really?
Right. You know what it reminds me of? Sort of the main plot line as seen in, what do you call it? In No Man's Sky, right? The core quest involving Atlas, the Atlas questline in No Man's Sky, that I am vaguely reminded of it. The story beats are fairly different, but it does get into this odd meta game sort of sense, right? And in fact, just recently I've played, well, I probably shouldn't say too much, but another game that is a lot newer that is also very meta in that same sense, right? Another game which I really, really, really enjoy a whole lot, that is also similarly meta, but is also cross-media in a sense, right? I'm sure at least a few folks hearing me talk about this will probably know what I'm referring to.
Slivers of a world far more vast.
Okay. What else?
New crown sovereign and keeper. The fire, if there is aught, my knowledge, as my all, is yours to take. What would you hear of me?
What is eternity?
Aye, there is life in the world, and with it death. Naught lasts forever. Each rises and falls in its time. But such is a death akin to that of ponds. They appear in this world and vanish, only to appear again, like bubbles in a mountain spring. As so it is with all that lives within this eternal world. In time, you will come to see it happen under your watch, as Seneschal. Each beast, each blade of grass, each human life is born to die and be born again in endless rhythm.
God, that is so fucking wild. And the like prose here is like operating at 110%, right? Oh my gosh. And as well, the delivery here is such a, like, everything begins to click into place. You know, everything starts to make sense at the beginning of the game, right? Like, for instance, when we first met Grigori, or even the Dragon Forged, right, at the hill figure knoll, it seemed like madness, right? It sounded like lunacy as we spoke to them. It was difficult to even begin to parse the words. But now we hear this and everything can begin to click into place. Everything can sort of make sense. All the strange things that we have heard said from other Arisen, right? From Grigori, from even Gordon, our main pawn. Everything starts to like come together in this weird way, and everything is recontextualized, right? I was not so subtly referencing it, in fact, during our first time and subsequent times talking with the Dragon Forged at Hillfigure Knoll, right? The ways in which they refer to eternity and like this cycle, you know? A lot of folks talk about the Dark Souls games as being very much about cycles as well. And I agree, they totally are, and that is, I think, super duper cool. Especially the way in which, you know, New Game Plus is relevant in that. But I cannot shake the feeling that I think Dragon's Dogma nails that cyclical nature of an open world in that way. It nails it a lot better, right? I don't know. I'm not sure. And true enough, there's going to be quite a few games that get into it, right, and sort of tell that story in a very different way, right? I don't know. There's just such a sense of like scale and non-finality to this that is creepy and eerie all to its own. I don't know. The like I said, the vibe is immaculate, right, to say the least. Anyway.
Naught lasts forever, yet all persists unto eternity. New crown, sovereign. If there is aught you wish to know afore my death, you need but ask.
Okay.
My
and one more question.
As my all is yours to take. What would you hear of me?
What is will?
Will is that which led you to this place, and that which turns the eternal wheel of the world. Along the endless string of life and death, there are some born with a hunger. They yearn for some other, better place. They are the Arisen, nascent fountainheads of will. And so the dragon is sent into the world to guide the Arisen, and refine them, to temper their wills into aught capable of sustaining the world. And so, the cycle of our world has e'er continued.
This bears the look of...
New crown, if there is aught you wish to know before my death, you need but ask.
His comments there, is the implication that, of course, having will within the world in this way, this insurmountable fountainhead of will present within you, means that you are a player, right? You are a player character, and thus, anyone with that degree of will have a dragon sent to them, right? You cannot help it but have that dragon sent to you, which is absolutely true, right? if you play the game, at the beginning of the game, the dragon is sent for you, no matter what, because you are a player, you are someone with that will. And we see sort of along, like I said, even more meta commentary on the game itself. We sort of see little windows, and this is even with knowing that like 2/3 or 3/4 of the game had to be cut, but we see other versions of like what players could have been, right? In the case of people who decide to just simply persist within the world without progressing forward to fight the dragon or whatever, right? We see various different interpretations of how all of this goes on, you know, of people who did best challenges, people who didn't make it, stuff like that. I don't know, it's very, very weird, very odd, very cool, you know? I don't know, in seeing this, I cannot help but wonder even more if Dragon's Dogma 2 will take this a step further, right? I think I would be fine even if they didn't, so long as they sort of reinterpret it in a very cool and interesting way, or like add a weird little twist to it or something like that. I think I'd be fine with that. Though I would love to see what all is possible, what all they could possibly think up with this, right? Like, I wonder how much they will put into canon the fact that it is Dragon's Dogma 2, you know? With them referring to, somewhat indirectly, the idea that multiple people are playing this game, that there are multiple Arisens across multiple realities, and that even within your version of the game, you loop, right? You continue through. I think, or I wonder, I don't know. I just wonder how Dragon's Dogma 2 will tackle shit like that. Right? I just wonder if it will add more to that, in the idea that now there is a sequel all these years later, you know? I'm curious what went on in Dragon's Dogma Online with regards to, like, storyline. Not so much, like I said, because I think whether or not Dragon's Dogma Online is canon, which is such a wild thing to say for this game, whether or not it is canon, I think I'm willing to first and foremost say maybe it's probably not canon, right? It's not canon until it is. Someone once told me something like that, the inverse of it for Elder Scrolls, that things are canon until they aren't. For me, I think I'm operating going forward thinking that Dragon's Dogma Online is not canon until it is. But in saying that, I think it would still be worthwhile to know what went on in Dragon's Dogma Online. You know, what was that all about, right? Because some of their story beats there may inform how they choose to operate in the sequel, you know? Just as well, there was that supposedly horrible Dragon's Dogma Netflix anime or whatever, right? I heard it was really, really bad. But I've no idea what was even going on in there. I've no idea, right? Maybe at some point we can do like a watch along, so to speak, you know? I'm sort of planning for the Fallout TV show when that comes very soon. I don't know. Something to think about. Okay. Well, let's wield the blade. Here we go.
Mourn me not, for I welcome the release. At long last, I am free of eternity, of infinity, free of the cruel, unending ring.
Shoo. Okay. Live as the Seneschal.
With this Seneschal's end comes the end of all things. Is that it? With this Seneschal's end comes the end of all things. Is that it?
Okay, I guess we ought to take off our hat, right? We lose out on our regen, but sure. And so all that's left is this fucking chair, right? And remember as well the sort of iconography down at the Hillfigure Knoll. You know, remember, I believe, wasn't there a chair not too much unlike this, right? If anything, I would not mind going back and thinking of just how much did the Dragonforged know of the world. You know, it seemed like the Dragonforged knew actually a bunch about the workings of the world. And I'm curious how that came to be, you know? Is it that, yeah, you know what? In fact, I think that's exactly it. I think, remember when we were in the long tunnel and we were given the choice to go back to Cassardus, back to Gransys, or proceed forward toward the Seneschal? I think the Dragonforged, who we knew at the Hillfigure Knoll, chose to go back, right? And I think that's how they knew so much, you know? Okay. But yeah, there is such finality to it, and I think it's kind of fucking cool and daring. It's kind of gutsy and ballsy to do this, to have you locked in here, right? Like, I think we're legit just stuck here, right? Like, if I try and use this, does it actually work? Yeah, seems it can't be used now. You can't use your fairy stones or anything from in here. You are trapped here, just as the dude before. You have aught to do but sit forever. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this bit. We return as like a fucking ghost lord. Oh shit, we can pick people up. Oh my gosh. Wow. How kind of like horrifying and sad, really. Like, I feel like you could take this as being something beautiful and wonderful, you know? Oh, look, my lantern. Oh, I'm a Poe. Right? But I don't know, I kind of see horror in it, which maybe is sort of revealing for myself. Right? It's like a fucked up horror story, you know? Okay. Just looping on end. Good God. How do we proceed from here? I don't even remember. I literally don't even fucking remember. But hey, look, the world is back once more as it has been. Wild. And this is like the throughput of how you interact with the game. Look, you can't even loot anything. You can go around, you can see stuff, you can like astral project everywhere. Right? But you can't do shit. Can we even can't even change out our equipment? We could maybe go like, can we actually exit the town or something like that? What happens if we interact with like the Rift Stone? I don't know if we have any course of action. Where even was that Rift Stone? Oh, here. Oh, wasn't it here? It's gone now. Okay. What if I jump down the well? Can I even? I don't think I can. Can I leave the town? Oh, I can go back. Do I go back to the chair? Oh, man. Oh, that's so wild. I forgot the how thorough it is with this shit. I think you can only ever see Cassardus, right? Can you go to Bitter Black Isle? Oh, look, we're in Grand Soren now. Oh, is the hole still there? No. Things have returned.
Hello there.
Right, yes, the world has returned to as it was. The cycle complete, the loop begins again. Oh my gosh. And in this way as well, in doing this, it does take you out of the game and makes you feel like, yeah, this is so fucking weird. I'm like looking at the game in a weird way, right? And I feel like that's 100% intentional, right? It is meant to feel very, very gamic, you know? It's such a peculiar, wild, meta feeling vibe to look at it all in such a way. What happens if we go back out? Let's see. Let's have a look. I wonder where else we'll go. I'm guessing maybe just between here and Cassardus? I have no idea. I don't really remember this part of the game too much. Okay. Let's go on out the front gate and see what happens. I'm guessing it'll take us back to the final chamber, yeah. Oh, man. How weird and wild. And if we sit again? Are we back in Cassardus? Yeah, just at sundown. Okay. So time does proceed. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I think there's only one thing to do, right? And that is that the game gets even more meta than this, right? You have aught to do but quit, right? The only thing you can do is leave. The Great Hereafter. Live as the Seneschal. It is your fate to dwell within the Seneschal's chamber forever and always. You have become the new Seneschal, keeper of the world. This home shall be yours for eternity. Yeah, like I said, how fucking wild. How fucking gutsy to do it in such a way. So, our only other course of action is to save and return to the title screen. Right? And let's see. Hang on. How more wild does this get? I forget. There is something else you can do. There is one more thing that you can do. Main menu. Let's see. If I do new game, is this what I think it is? No. Okay. No. Okay. I don't want to do that. If I load the game... Oh shit, how do you do it? How do you do it then? Let's see. Equipment. Huh. We have the Godsbane. An almighty divine blade received along with your returned heart has the power to guide the chosen to true freedom. Only Arisen may use this. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Just kidding, Gordon. Just kidding, Gordon. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Holy shit, I don't even remember that. Also, the sword got way smaller, right? It got so much smaller, Gordon. What do you think of all this, Gordon?
'Tis my duty to share this journey with you, and an honor besides.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sure. God, I don't remember how you'd go about it. I mean, maybe that felt familiar. That felt familiar doing that. Fuck it. This is the final video. I'm gonna fucking do it. Gosh. It's such a... This feels so like FromSoft in that I could have easily not realized that this is what I had to do. Alright. I'm sorry, Gordon.
Stay with me!
Oh my gosh. A million Gordons becoming one.
Master!
Is it over? I don't know what you were wrapped up in, but it must have been something grand. And the world's a different place for it. Though I'm sure we'll still manage brilliantly, you and I.
Holy shit, I forgot about this. This exactly... This makes Bitter Black Isle make so much sense what happened with that pawn. And the body situation. Oh my god. Gordon is me. Gordon is me, dude! You feel an odd pride as you well, we'll never know. Okay, now this I remember. Wow. Holy shit, this little bit of artwork is incredible. I cannot begin to imagine like what wild shit they have planned for us in the sequel, you know? Oh, look at that. A name not even at the beginning nor the end. Oh, we were level 123, 123. Number of vocation changes, 8. Date cleared. Oh shit, oh, it went a little too fast. There's Gordon. Look at Gordon. What's Gordon doing? Gordon, what are you doing? Are you farting or something? Gordon, what is that maneuver? Scather and Nexus? Oh my gosh. I didn't even get to look at it that long. I'm gonna have to look at it in the finished video or whatever. Wow. Why are all the pawns doing this maneuver? Why are all the pawns, like, fucking jamming? Look, a level 41 mage. These were our earlier pawns, huh? Or some of them? Will it show all of them or some of them? All of the pawns who accompanied us from other Arisen? God, Why are they dancing like this? That is so wild. God, I kind of fucking love it. Man. But yeah. Such is Dragon's Dogma. Such is the dogma of the dragon. What a wild fucking story that... Honestly, my first time through, this is one of these games that, like, the less you know about it, the more and more fucking, like, weird and wild, you know? Like, you can still really enjoy the game on a mechanical level, but man, you kind of lose out on the last quarter or third of the game, you know? God, I'm so curious as to how they'll handle the new shit. Oh look, it says when other pawns cleared the game too. Were those only other pawns that cleared the game? Is that why it said date cleared? It was like January something? God, I think it is. I think those other pawns, they never actually... Of all the other ones, only 3, I think it was, actually finished the game with me. Oh, that's such a cool touch if that's the case, right? It only shows pawns there in the book if they had also gone through the rest of the game. Good lord. Yeah. Holy shit. Dragon's Dogma. Heck of a action role-playing game, right? Wait, Crispin Freeman was also doing mocap? What does that mean? Like actual mocap or just like the face rigging kind? Holy shit. Man. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma is super duper cool, super good. Glad we could finally clear it out just in time, just in the nick of time for the sequel, which I hope is so wild and mind-blowing and mind-bending. It would be amazing if they could somehow pull off... Oh yeah, Ian Zur, right? Music and composer. Fuck, I forgot. Doing a lot of music for this. Ian Zur. Same dude what did Starfield, Fallout 4. Same dude what did, I believe, OG Dragon Age as well. I don't know if the new stuff, right? But certainly Dragon Age Origins. Wild to think, huh? And also, I feel should put it to rest any qualms people have about this guy's possibility to dabble within the realm of fantasy, right? Because there is some cool shit here. There's some cool shit in Dragon Age Origins. It's just a matter of what they ask for with direction, I think, you know? I think it's no problem whatsoever, you know? Man, we are really jamming. I have to wonder if... I don't know. I always hear people describe Dragon's Dogma as like a fun pet project for the developer. For like the design lead or whatever, at least. You know, the dude who is mostly known for doing Devil May Cry. That Dragon's Dogma is like a fun pet project. And that, I don't know, they're sort of allowed to work on it in a way. I always hear it described in such a way, which I enjoy and is very fun, right? I don't know. How cool. I hope the sequel just blows us away as well. Capcom has been on a winning streak. Pray that they do not break it yet. Set of Duke's clothing acquired. Visit the storehouse in-game to access it. But how would we visit the storehouse in-game? How would we do that? Cleared game data has been saved. Loading this cleared game will allow you to begin a new game. The items you obtained last playthrough will be available in item storage. Okay, there we go. This is what I remember. Okay. And then we can just take a quick look here. Okay. And then if we load up now, right? You have previously cleared the game. Begin a new game using this save data? Yes. This is the real New Game Plus. This is why people refer to other things as post-Dragon, post-Grigori. This is the real New Game Plus. Which, in and of itself, if I remember correctly, enemies and shit are not scaled up necessarily. And countless lifetimes come to pass. The delightful and ever novel pleasure of a useless occupation. Which is a very fun thing to see said now, as we turn our gaze down from the heavens to this portal from now where we know, and we know what is going on with the Seneschal and stuff, right? It makes so much more sense. This scene, though, I believe is exactly the same. We can skip that. But hey, recontextualize and all of that. And here we are, our character looking such as this. However, we could change this around if we wanted to, right? We could absolutely do that. Should we, though? I don't know. I mean, maybe. Maybe we ought. Nah, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We won't change it around just yet. Or, yeah, you can change it around later, right? Yeah. So we'll just keep this as is. Yes, I'm ready to play. Okay. Today, like every day, waves gently lap at the... Well, we'll never know. Now, isn't this odd? Right? Isn't this slightly strange? How we begin here? Especially after having just had what revelations we did. We should have begun elsewhere, right? But this is where Dragon's Dogma has upped the ante once more and done some weird mind-bending shit. Let's get through this. Look, Grigori is back, right? And the loop begins anew, right? We're back in the loop. Everything is happening as we remember. Except something was missing, right? Some very key and integral part of that opening was missing. Where was the part where we played as, what's his name? Savan, the Seneschal, right? Is that not vital to our New Game Plus experience, right? Was it not a very important part? Well, okay, some spoilers here because obviously we're not going to be able to see it in time. But what is crucial here is that of course we wouldn't see that. We just did it, right? We did it. Countless lives come to pass. Time has gone on for a long, long time. The loop continues, right? The loop goes on. I believe, given what ending we had gotten here, if you go through the entirety of the game, right? If you proceed through all this old shit that we remember, right? All same, nothing changes here. This is all the same as far as I remember, right? But, oh, and look, we actually do keep our like, character advancement and whatnot, right? I don't think the world scales up, though, does it? I don't remember that being the case. I think we still get, like, baby enemies. But thankfully, what do you call it, is kind of a... Bitter Black Isle's kind of a fun solution to it. But...
Take up arms, Arisen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. Fighter. Sure. Okay. And we can skip this as well. Here we are. Let's see. Over here. But if we were to go all the way through once more to the end, to the loop's end, and went to go face the Seneschal, the big mask-off moment when it reveals, oh shit, this was the guy that you were playing at the very start of the game. Do you remember, right? If you went on to do that, the reveal would be, holy shit, it's the last character you played as, right? Down to your equipment and your character appearance. It saves that information.
This path should see us there.
And I think someone even wrote in that, like, if you go out here or something, there's a weird item or whatever that will somehow let you get back up there really quick and just skip over the game. I have no idea what the hell that is about, right? Someone wrote in with a comment saying as much, that something like that exists out here that will let you, like, go immediately to the end of the game, but specifically to that section of it, that there is just straight up an item out here. I had no fucking clue that such a thing existed. I had never heard of that. I have no idea where it is either, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering their comment because I didn't write it down. I didn't think of that. I didn't intend or plan to go through it and all that, right? There's all there. Oh no, I remember. It was down here at the beach, I think. I think that's it. It's somewhere down here. Okay. I'll do a quick look around here for it. Because like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I've never done it, so I'd be down to do it, since I've never done it before. Let's see. Starfall Bay? Is this it? Oh. Touching this unique riftstone will allow you to battle the Dragon. Oh.
This looks interesting.
Okay. But we probably should not battle the Dragon, because we don't have any of our equipment on us, right? Huh. Okay. Was there another stone or something like that out there? I'm not sure. I do think it's incredibly wild how like, they're willing to just have you be kind of stuck there for a bit if you don't realize what the fuck is going on, right? If you don't realize to actually wield the blade against yourself. But even then, in breaking the cycle, quote-unquote, breaking the loop in that way, are you really breaking it? Or has it looped again? Right?
Choked to the bone.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we did go back there, although we drove the blade through ourselves, would it be Gordon up there? Is that the thinking? That the Arisen up there would be, the Seneschal would be Gordon? I don't remember. I don't remember how it fucking works. I'm not sure. Alright. But yeah. What a weird, like... What a weird and incredible game that they kind of set up here, right? Fuck it, we'll touch this and have a look, right? Okay. Yeah. Here we are. And we can look at this now. Look at all the folks here. Sure. Great. Fairly recent stuff. Okay. Cool. Well, that ought to do it for Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen, as I had said. As you can see, there's still plenty more adventure if you really wanted to eke out that little bit more. If you're playing it yourself at some distant point in the future, right? Like Dragon's Dogma 2 has come out and you still want to go check out what came before it. For as long as the servers are up, I guess you could run through it and all of that. You could find Gordon. I don't know if Gordon exists anymore, right? I don't think so. I think Gordon is gone. Gordon became me, right? You can't find Gordon anymore. Gordon's gone, right? There is only Rook. Sorry, Gordon's gone. You're going to have to look for Gordon in Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, this has been the first game. Thanks for joining me on this wild-ass ride. I can't believe it. We managed to finish it, and a little bit extra, right? We managed to do Bitter Black Isle once, right? But like I said, there's extra adventure there if you do seek it, in the core game, which we have just seen, and of course at Bitter Black Isle, you can go through it once more and sort of be privy to all of the wild stuff that can pop off there, which there's not too much, but there is, once again, a little something that recontextualizes stuff in a fun way. But if you're more keen on the sequel, which, you know, I think everybody would understand if you are, just look it up, right? Just look it up. Definitely looking forward to the sequel myself. Absolutely, we're going to try to get that playthrough started and out ASAP. Very, very excited. Obviously, I've been saying it throughout this entire fucking playthrough. I'd be shocked if it were bad, even if like the story beats and stuff toward the last part of the game, right? Like the mind-bending wild shit that pops off, even if that ends up being a letdown, on a mechanical level, as just a fucking action role-playing game, you know, stats and stuff, running around the world, beating up goblins and dragons and shit, we've seen. That shit looks rad. It looks cool, right? If the story beats at the end of the game continue to be weird and fucking your mind up and everything, that's just gravy on the mashed potatoes, baby. Anyway, thank you so much for joining my playthrough here. Thanks for watching. Even if, as I always say, even if you've watched only just this end part, it's strange to skip to the end, but hey, thanks for watching. Nonetheless, it's such an honor to have anyone decide to spend their free time here with me on my little videos, my little playthroughs and whatnot. I appreciate it a whole lot. Thanks to all the folks, of course. We've been mentioning them by name throughout the game, throughout the playthrough. Thanks so much for people who wrote in with comments and stuff, even if you didn't have yours directly contribute to the playthrough and the like direction of it or whatever. Appreciate it. As the videos have been coming out, I've been reading them, and I'm sure in the distant future I'll still read them even on old videos, right? I can't help myself. Appreciate the comments. Of course, appreciate folks giving likes and subs and all of that, subscribing to the channel. That stuff helps out, especially in the first video and all that. Thank you so much. And thanks, of course, as well to folks who have done very direct support, either through like YouTube super thanks, the YouTube membership system, or on Patreon, or on Coffee, on PayPal, whatever you prefer. Thanks so much. It is eternally appreciated. Super duper helps me out. And eternally optional, right? I very much keep it at the forefront that you get nothing for doing it. It's purely considered, you know, it's like tipping, right? It's like tipping. Do it if you want. Or even, probably even less so like tipping, because I don't rely on it in such a way as many folks do in their line of work, right? It is simply very, very appreciated. It's like how tipping probably ought be, right? It's the ideal form of it. But nonetheless, thank you so much to everyone who has interacted in such a way. Looking very much... of course, in this game, in its odd multiplayer-esque sort of way, thank you as well to folks who interacted with Gordon, right? In some way. And very much looking forward to Gordon continuing journeys in the future. I'm sure Gordon will look very different in Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'm sure that my character, the Arisen, will look very different as well. Very excited for the whole Beast Strand situation. That sounds very, very cool. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2, right around the corner, just mere days away. I think that just about does it. I think we've touched on all of our bases here. Thanks so much for joining me on this Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen journey. Hopefully, I'll see you in for Dragon's Dogma 2 very shortly, but if not, thank you so much for coming by for this. Until next time, if there is a next time, please take care of each other.